Hi everyone. I feel everyone listening to this message, wherever you are, what part of the world you are, I feel share this message with friends, share with loved ones, and I know this is really going to bless people. If you're streaming online, wherever you're listening from, I would advise you share this message with friends and families. So what I want to talk about today is the junctions of life. I feel in the world system today, the current world system, we are at a junction where we need to make pivotal decisions in the system of government. Everyone is angry, people are not happy. Recently in the UK, a lot of people gathered and we rioted, we need a lot of money, we need increase in pay. In Nigeria, the election is about to be rigged. Lots of things are happening and people are not happy, and I feel we've gotten to this junction where we need to make a decision. We need to make a decision now. We've gotten to the junction, and I think that's what I want to talk about in this message that I'm sharing today. Just like a baby, we know that there are several processes for a baby, there are several junctions in life of a man, of a woman. We know there comes a time where the baby needs to crawl, it needs to walk, and if we get to the time where the baby needs to walk and the baby doesn't walk, we know that there's a problem. So that's the way the world system is. We know there is a problem. So quickly, I want to talk about 3 junctions that I feel are pivotal to the growth of a man or to anybody. So I feel it applies to everyone. It applies to everyone in terms of business, in terms of all spheres of life. So I've heard about people in life that were doing really well. They graduated from school, secondary school, and everything was going fine, and then in their final year they got to that junction where they were crossing to the next level of life, and someone gave them a puff, a weed, marijuana, and they smoked it, and that diverted their life forever. Now the funny thing is, they never knew they've gotten to a junction. They never knew they were at a pivotal junction, but they got an offer and they accepted the offer, and immediately their life changed immediately. So before I talk about this 3 junction, I pray that the Holy Spirit fills your mind. I pray that the Lord use this message to touch you wherever you are, and use this message to help you set your life in order. So I'll tell you a story about myself quickly before I go ahead. So this was in Africa. I was in my mom's house. I was lying down in my mom's house, and I think I was in the sitting room, in the parlor. I was lying down, and then I woke up. When you wake up but you're not fully awake. So that's what happened to me. And then it's as if someone tapped me. And then I always pray. I think that's where I started experiencing God, started speaking in tongues, and then it's as if someone tapped me. And then I heard a voice. It's as if the voice was talking to me. This is not a film trick. I know somebody was talking to me. I couldn't see the person. And then I heard this voice. He said, the day you sleep with a woman, he said, with a girl, that day you die. And not only that you die, he said, you go to hellfire. A lady I'm not married to. He said, that day you die, and not only you die, you go to hellfire. And then I just gave myself, I didn't hear the voice again, so I was really scared. So I called my mom. I said, Mom, I don't know what's happening. I heard this voice. And then my mom said, it might be God. Then guess what? A week later, I got a call, because then I just started my tech journey. Started going into tech, web development, blog. I started journeying how to build mobile applications and stuff like that. And then I got a call from this lady that saw where I placed my number in the platform, and she called me. She said, Princely, I want you to design a blog for me. So I was really happy. I felt she's gonna pay me. And then the lady, I started doing the job, and she said, this is how much I'm gonna pay you. And then halfway through the job, she said, Princely, what I'm gonna offer you, I'm gonna offer you sex. Going to offer you free sex every day, anytime, as a payment for this job you're doing for me. So to an extent, I got angry. I was like, why would you think I want sex as a payment? She said, even if you don't want payment for sex, I could give you free sex. She dressed nearly unclad when we were meeting, and then I remembered that vision encounter I had. She tried everything. She would call me for us to prepare a script, and before you know, she would start literally trying to get naked. But I don't know how I escaped that, but there was something she said. She mentioned after I went through everything and nothing happened, I didn't have sex with her. She said something. She said she started listing the things she got, the sickness, the STDs, the things she got, of how she has several spiritual demonic encounters and stuff like that. Immediately she said all of that, I just remembered the voice that I heard that day. She started saying different STDs that she has been trying to solve or cure. I don't want to call the name of the STD, but I feel many people might know what I'm talking about, and how she's trying to cure it and solve it, but it's not working. How she has spiritual problems. And then I just remembered the encounters that I have. I've had several other things that God saved me from, but when that dream happened, I never knew I was at a junction in my life that if I had ignored that help from God, my life would have turned out something differently. I might have been jumping from one hospital to the other, trying to solve or fix an STD or something else. So that's the same message I'm trying to pass. That's the same message I'm trying to share here about the junctions of life. So the first junction I want to talk about is the minor junction. So we get to a junction which is called the minor junction, and we need to make a decision. And the thing about a junction is you must make a decision when you get to a junction. So we get to a minor junction. So what's a minor junction? It's the junction you wake up in the morning. What am I going to eat? That's a minor junction. What am I going to eat? What am I going to wear today? Okay, what's the color of my belt going to be today? That's a minor junction. And minor junctions are designed for we to make everyday decisions, simple decision. Which route am I going to take today? Where am I going to go to get food from, to get gas from, those are minor decisions. And the thing about minor decisions, it's sometimes the minor decisions that we make could build up and form a major junction. It can build up and yield a major junction in our life. So the second junction I want to talk about quickly, and I think I'm going to spend a lot of time on this, and I also tell you a story of what happened to me. So what's a major junction? It's a junction where we get to where we make a decision that's going to affect our life. So if we look at the dictionary, it defines the word junction to where 2 or 3 points meet together. So if, for example, I'm driving on a road and I get to a junction, so first I need to make a decision. What road am I going to go? Am I going left? Am I going right? Am I going front? Am I going backwards? And the theme that is at play is it's your past trying to fight his way to a future that's going to benefit it. So it's you coming from the past. You're trying to pick a route. You're trying to make a decision that's going to affect you. And the thing about a major decision is that it's for life. One major decision that you make, one major junction that you get to, and you make one decision that is not conscious, that is not deliberate, it could affect you for the rest of your life. Now, I've heard of people, like I said previously, I've heard of university people, very smart people. All they took was one puff. I've heard of people that they were virgins all of their life, and they mistakenly slept with somebody, and they got AIDS, and they died. Yes, they got HIV and AIDS, and they died. Just from one junctions they got to. And sometimes you see, the funny thing is that the devil disguises junctions to look as if, it's not a major junction, it's a minor one. Have sex with her, sleep with her, touch her, do this and do that, smoke this. And it might come from people that might love you and just giving you bad decisions at the junctions of your life. So what's a major junction? A junction that's going to affect you for a long time. Sleep with her, and then you get STD, and then you're fighting for the rest of your life. So I'm going to give you a story. So I had a friend. we were classed as sisters and brothers, and I had recently just started living alone. I was doing my business, things were going well for me, and then she called me. She said, hi mate, I'm coming to your house. I was like, sure. But I knew I was scared because I felt, I take this lady as a sister, as somebody I would never touch. But I called a relative of mine. I said, guess what? This friend of mine is coming to my house to come and spend 2 days. She's trying to learn computer things. My cousin told me, said, see, the Bible said, flee from every form of temptation. Are you sure you can really handle it? I said, yeah, I can handle it. I talked to someone else, and the person said, it's all about your mindset. But I knew I'd messed up, because immediately she came to the house, lust fell into play. And then I knew if nothing happened, I'm going to fall. I'm going somewhere. So the first day she came, she was like, I know you're my brother, so I don't mind getting naked in front of you. And from just seeing the lady, I just knew if nothing happens right now, I'm at a major junction of my life, and things are gonna fall upside down. So I was scared for myself. So what actually happened was that my cousin picked up the phone and called my mom and told my mom that a lady is about to visit Princely. So as a good boy, I called my mom to get the final validation, and the lady had just arrived. And it's as if something came over my eye. I was trying to negotiate a junction. I was trying to put reason, nothing is going to happen. Even if something happened, in a way, I can be able to solve it. I was trying to negotiate a major junction of my life. So what actually happened was that I called my mom. I said, Mom, this lady is coming to my house. My mom just started praying. She was like, no, not you. She should go to other people's house, not you. You're a child of God. You should not have a lady in your house that stays that long. My mom started talking. It's as if a clog fell from my eye. And immediately I told the lady, I said, I'm very sorry, but I feel you need to leave. She was like, why? Am I mommy's boy? Why would my mom make that decision? I said, no, you need to leave, come back in about 2 weeks. Then my eyes will clear. I might start seeing you as a friend or as a sister, but right now all I want to do is I'm in a very sexually compromised state that I want to do something bad to you. And then she said no, that I told her no. I gave her money as a transport. Then I saw her off. And guess what? About two weeks later, about a week later, she sent me a picture. I was like, what's this picture? Because I've never seen that kind of picture in my life before. And she showed me the picture. It was a picture of a kid. So I was like, what's this? She said, don't I know what's there? I said, no. She said, it's a pregnancy kit. I was like, what's this? She said, that she's pregnant for a boyfriend, and her boyfriend is not picking the call. The boyfriend doesn't believe the baby is his. And I asked her a question. I said, when did you know you're pregnant? She said, about 4 weeks ago, before she came to my house. I was so shocked. And I said, God. So this lady wanted to come here because she did several funny things. I said, this lady wanted to come here, force me to sleep with her, and then when I sleep with her, I claim a baby that's not mine. Then she says the baby is mine because she has been forcing me. She wanted to come to my house. She wanted to come. Even the mom knew she was coming to my house to spend some night just to learn computer. So when that thing happened, about 2 weeks later, I met my wife, who I'm currently married to, and we have my wife that I'm currently married to with our son. 2 weeks later, I met my wife, and just guess what? If that thing had happened that day, I might not even entertain meeting my wife, and my life would have just gone down south. I'm taking care of a baby that's not mine. I'm feeding a baby that's not mine. And then what happens later on, We go and we have a DNA test when the baby is born. The baby is not mine. I'm at a junction. I'm scarred emotionally, mentally, financially, physically. So when I sat down and I looked at that, I said, God, because sometimes we don't know we're at a junction of our life. We don't know, because no one tells us. No one tells you at a junction. No one tells you, oh, you're at a major junction of your life. That one thing that you do can scar you for life. We don't know, but we just make decisions. And you know what? And sometimes we try to negotiate a major decision. Someone gives you something to smoke, and you know that some of these things are very addictive, but what do? You take it and you puff it. You take it and you puff it, and then you want to puff again, and then your life is taken aback. And just like Google Map, we know the Google Map, it's very hard for you sometimes to get your step back. You might be able to retrace your step from a decision of a major junction, but guess what? It's going to take time. Some people 10 years they are battling addiction. 10 years they are fighting for them to leave one decisions they made. Some people, it's just one sex, the lady got pregnant and things turn about. Some people, just the guy is trying to talk to you as a lady, then you open your leg, he gets you pregnant, and then because he came in the guise of a good boy, get you pregnant, he hasn't paid your bride price, he hasn't getting married to you, and then you become a baby mama. Guess what? You might retrace your step, but if before you meet a good man that is ready to marry you with your child, a Christian God-fearing man, it's going to take long. So sometimes we're there negotiating our step. Oh, just one puff, let me do it like this, let me do it like that. Oh, and see, some junctions disguise themselves as a minor junction. So you think, oh, this junction is just a minor junction. Google Map always retrace you. It helps you to come back. But guess what? You're going to have to go a long way to turn. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I know some people, they missed it. Just one missing it. Fooling bad friends. And they lost it. And if you're in the West, if you're in the West, here, just one mistake, you go to prison. Before you know, it never gets off your file. Never, you can't get a job. So recently in the office, I had a white friend, one of my colleagues in the office, and she was like, because the way our office is built, you could go easily make tea for yourself. So I went there and got tea. I used to say hi to the lady, and she was like, one day I was outside making a call, and she was like, oh, Prinsley, can we go out together sometime, just you and I? Let's go out together. And then I left. Immediately I came home, I told my wife, I said, babe, someone is trying to buy me lunch. It sounds funny, but the next day I got to the office, I said, see, I'm really sorry, but I'm a married man and I don't know what you have in mind, and my wife wouldn't like it. But that was a major junction. If I had hidden it, oh, some people might say it's a white lady. Oh, it's a white lady. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, it doesn't mean anything. You don't negotiate a junction. You don't negotiate. You don't sit down and negotiate a junction. Never. Because it starts from a little sip, a little puff, a little drinking, a little things, and before you know, you lose it. Before you know, it is hard to get back yourself. So in this series, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the third junctions we get to, and then I'll explain how do we know a junction. How do we know that this is a junction of my life? And then also is how to get back from a junction that we missed it. So it's a very long series that we're going to be having. How to get back from a junction that we missed. And then finally, the end of the series, So we said how to know a junction. The next step is how to know a junction, how to get your way back from a junction. And then the third one is how to build and survive a junction. I want you to stay blessed. I believe that God has touched you with this message wherever you are. And one thing is that I want to pray with you. I don't know where you are. You might be at a junction in your life where you're about to make a decision. Wherever you are listening, I pray that God touches you. Amelia Kutune Kita Lelia. I pray that God help you, that the Spirit of God that give you understanding. He said, I go, but I send for the Holy Spirit. That the Holy Spirit will help you, that you hold yourself. He will give you self-control to hold yourself. Learn to say no. Learn to say no. The country, everywhere, the world, we are at a junction. And we must learn to make decisions for ourselves. Wherever you are, pray that God bless you. And He gives you the spirit of wisdom and revelation and knowledge of Him, that the eyes of understanding will be enlightened. Be blessed.